Hello everybody, Manly is here, and welcome back to another episode of Hell is Us. And we have reached the Watcher's Nest, the hideout of the Vigils, but there's some puzzles that we have to figure out first. So let's see if there's any clues to that.
The Caves expeditions yielded two significant revelations. Confirmation that the Calamity is real, and the existence of a plan to stop it, the so-called failsafe. We know nothing of this failsafe, nor of the artifact we recovered. All of these tomes, and not a shred of information. Whatever machinations the Foal Guard of old had in mind, they were intent on keeping it a secret. I fear it is now lost in the folds of history. It seems to me the artifact may be part of a larger mechanism. Perhaps it is a key of sorts. Does it open another tomb or vault? Are there more such keys? It is clear to me that this artifact, this keystone, is a critical piece of the failsafe enigma. We must continue to pull at this thread until the truth reveals itself.
Okay. This, music volume is distracting. Alright, so we have more keys on the walls. So the flowers go there. What is this? An ecstasy suppressor weak. Temporarily reduce ecstasy damage. Okay. Put some generators here. We can scan this. Rosa. Dio. Okay. 1512, 1513. What are the Full Guard, Vigil? Okay, so on that wall, 1512 and 1513.
The revelation that we may have a traitor in our ranks weighs heavily on me. Our vows are sacrosanct. How could one betray the Order at a moment such as this? I harbor a growing suspicion, an insidious notion that is slowly taking root. Harrowing, if accurate. It chills me to the bone. I cannot inform the others until I have arrived at certainty without doubt. The risk of exposure is too great. What would she possibly have to gain? I pray that I am mistaken. The consequences would be disastrous. Likely the end of the Vigil as we know it.
So he mentioned she. I wonder who it is. Maybe it's our mother? We can access this computer. Okay, we have a file directory, the Watcher's Nest, November 29th, 1987. The discoveries we came upon within the Umal Caves were nothing short of astounding. How those discoveries led us here is truly fortuitous. Never would I have imagined standing in such a hallowed, storied place. Brother Damien was adamant about bringing this old dusty cave into the modern age. As much as I begrudge these newfangled computers, I will concede that the work ahead of us is monumental. There are several lifetimes worth of scrolls and manuscripts stored here, and a more efficient method of record keeping will be of great value. I am hopeful that we can find more information about this keystone. The wall grooves, wooden shields. February 27th, 1989. Now that we are properly settled, we are ready to delve headlong into the mysteries of this place. Gildas has set his sights on translating the many instances of ancient texts we have found throughout. I'll be concentrating on the strange flower-shaped grooves inlaid into the walls. There are 8 such grooves in the entrance hall, each accompanied by a symbol displayed prominently on a wooden shield. I believe these 8 are part of a set, Agatha has a keen eye for iconography. I've asked her to assist me in interpreting the possible meanings of these symbols. Metal shields. June 2nd, 1989. I've recently turned my attention to the set of 3 flower-shaped grooves in the corridor. Each is overlooked by a large metallic aegis bearing a strikingly well-preserved coat of arms. Of these, I can only recognize our own, that of the Vigil. Gildas assures me that he has seen the others before, and he will attempt to track down their provenance. He will record his findings on the whiteboard. The main area. January 30th, 1990. It's clear now that the grooves on both sides of the armor rack are meaningless, and we're done wasting time on them. Instead, it's very likely the grooves flanking the old banner are part of the solution. Damien has noted the deciphered dates for each side on the whiteboard. In the alcoves, April 22nd, 1990. Through countless hours of study, Gildas has managed to piece together a rudimentary translation key for the ancient language. Through it, we have now discovered that this place was named the Watcher's Nest, a quite fitting moniker, I must say. More importantly, we have translated the text accompanying the 4 flower-shaped grooves in the alcoves joining the main room. The texts are simply a collection of names: Alecto, Algea, Dio, and Rosa. Upon further research within the scrolls, we discovered that these are the names of the last full guard generals, the so-called Wardens of the Eye. What is the significance of the inscription here? Every stone uncovered spawns more questions. The burial chamber. January 21st, 1993. Yesterday, a rather significant earthquake put our operations on hold. The generators failed, and we were thrust into darkness. We are just now getting our infrastructure back online. A section of the wall in the main room has crumbled, revealing a hidden burial chamber. We believe it to be the tomb of Pentos Algea, the founder of the Vigil. Unbelievable that this sealed chamber should be found right under our noses. What good fortune. The chamber is a veritable treasure trove of revelations. Along with the sarcophagus, ornate illustrations adorn the walls. Once the rubble is cleared, we will hoist Gildas down into the chamber, that he may begin to translate the ancient text. This may just be the lead we have been hoping for. Ceramic flowers. June 22nd, 1993. We found 4 flower-shaped ceramic tokens inside the tomb. We share a perfect symmetry with the wall grooves whose purpose has evaded us since we first entered this place. Everything is beginning to fall into place. The tokens are clearly made to be inserted into the grooves. There are 4 tokens, and 4 distinct sets of grooves. I believe this mystery must be linked to Algea somehow. Perhaps the grooves represent his life, his accomplishments? I feel we are so close to the solution. Okay, so just some lore notes there. Alright. Helmet coif, worn by General Pentos Algea, first of the Vigil. So they said that this one doesn't matter. But then we have those 2 and then those 2. But I feel like that it's gotta mean something. Okay, we can't go back there.
The tomes scattered around this hallowed ground speak of Pentos Algea, the first of the Watchers. It was Pentos who recognized that the Calamity would always remain a threat. From the ashes of the derelict Full Guard, he forged a new order to carry on our sacred charge. His foresight and tenacity are the reason the Vigil still exists today. There must be a reason he chose to conceal the existence of the failsafe and the keystone. Truly extraordinary that we should stumble upon his tomb after all these years. I pray it contains the answers we seek.
Okay. Let's go into the cave then. Left, the Warden of Rage, and the right is the Warden of Loathing. I think it's good to understand these symbols because there's doors scattered throughout the region that have all these symbols on them. So we have rage, loathing. I think that one's grief and neutral. Warden of grief and the warden of amazement. Warden of terror and admiration. And finally, ecstasy and vigilance. Pentus Hadea, ordained the new Warden of Grief, 1501. And we have a limbic rod of grief, Z. Designation Zulu, carved out of solidified limbic material. And this is to the doorway of the dark forest of the south. Sinedra Hilltop. Okay. We have a ceramic flower, a blue-tinted ceramic token with a wooden flower inlaid in the center. Nothing happens. Why doesn't anything happen? Oh, I have 4 of them. Okay. So... can I put them on and off? I can remove them. Okay. Wait, oh, we have another computer here. Six digits. Do I have any notes? I don't think I have anything that would provide the clues to that. That's funny. I want to go back down here really quick. I want to see if... Okay, nothing happens. What was the dates on here? 1501. Okay. And how many do we have on the walls here? We have 3 here. I'm curious if these have to go in at a certain order. I would imagine they do. Hold on. Let me see if it's Pentos. But I have to pull up my phone keypad. So 7, 3, 6, 8, 6, 7. Nope, it's not Pentos. Okay, so maybe these don't do anything. So let's remove that. Remove that. Okay. And we'll put them here then. Fifteen, 12, 15, 13. Now can we move the lever? Nothing happens. Is that all the ceramic hearts that I have? Let's... Alright, what information do we have here? So what do the dates have to do with anything? Maybe they do have to go in a certain order. So, the metal shields. If we just put 3 of them in here. Anything? Order the eye full guard of vigil. Yeah, but that doesn't really help. He was the. What if it's this? Which one's grief? $15.12 to $15.13. I'm kind of at an impasse here. Pentos Hadea during the New Warden of Grief 1501. Terror. So there's those flowers. What if we do the 4 things? Rage, grief, terror, and ecstasy. Okay, rage, grief, terror, and ecstasy. This is a very difficult puzzle. I don't really know the clues very well. So, rage, grief, terror, and ecstasy. Anything? No. What if we put them in the ones that have lit candles? Okay, that doesn't work either. I don't want to look it up, but I also don't want to spend a whole hour doing this puzzle. Okay, so we know that they said 1512, 1513. Oh wait, what do we have back here? What if we just put them in these four? Anything. Algea. Electo. Okay, what if we put him on the thing now? More tokens for distinct sets of grooves. I believe this mystery to be linked to Algea somehow. Oh, wait a second. Hold on. If that's the case, maybe... I'm so confused. Okay, Gildas asceticides, ancient text. There are 8 grooves in the entrance hall. Those that are part of a set. The metal shields. This must be linked to Algea somehow. His life, his accomplishments. So if... So this is Algea. Okay, so we'll leave that one there. $15.12. If we remove this one, 2. And what if we put it in grief? So he was the warden of grief. Oh my gosh. That was interesting. Okay. Pull this now. And this turns over, and we get a new passive relic, the Mark of the Betrayed. And it gives Avenger's Essence. Retaliate with tremendous fury, increasing damage dealt after parry. We also get the Blue Flower Scroll, an old scroll written in an ancient language. Elaborate illustrations adorn the page and feature a blue flower, found in Pentos Algea's tomb in the Watcher's Nest. Okay, some more cryptic clues.
That's interesting.
Tanya?
I made it back to your APC and figured out how to access your drone controls.
Oh, great.
Bring back that scroll you just picked up. I found something in the APC that can help us.
Okay, so we have a couple of things that updated. So let's look at the family legacy. Tanya, she found something helpful in the APC and helped find and unlock the Watcher's Nest for us, and has established communication with our drone. Vitalis found a note saying that the wall grooves in the Watcher's Nest pertains to Pentos, which we figured out. Is there more answers inside the coffin? And this blue flower scroll, which we found inside Pentos' coffin, contains unintelligible text written in an unknown language. And the Watcher's Nest has all of the above that we found. I want to inspect this item really quick. I wonder what the significance of that is. Okay. What the hell? Who the heck is this guy?
Funny. I've never seen you before. No matter. I can see your credentials hanging from your neck. Welcome to the Watcher's Nest.
Who are you?
My name is Gildas Brom. I am the oldest member of the Vigil. Ever since I lost the use of my legs, I've been the caretaker of relics and other useful items. We have accumulated quite a collection. These items are precious and will undoubtedly help you fight the creatures.
Anything else you can tell me about the Watcher's Nest?
Initially, the Watcher's Nest was a barracks for the Foal Guards, our ancestral order. Their blue-flowered crest is carved on the walls. The Foal Guard abandoned it, but Pentos Algea, the founder of the Vigil, reclaimed it years later. He made it a secret stronghold to coordinate the Vigil's efforts. Today, it is a beacon, a marker left behind for future generations. Pentos was put to rest here, but we only recently discovered his tomb in the crypt below. Although we haven't been able to open his coffin yet, we are confident there are more answers inside.
Can you tell me more about the Keystone of Grief?
If you have the keystone, this can only mean one thing. Vitalis is no more. This is a somber day for the Vigil. He was, unfortunately. There is no time to mourn him. I will honor his memory later. As for the artifact, we only have theories, some of which you can find in notes and journals strewn across the tables and desks. The Keystone of Grief was found in the Umal Caves, leading us to the Watcher's Nest. Whatever the Keystone is, I believe some answers can be found in Pentos' coffin. If only we can figure out a way to open the damn thing.
Well, luckily for you, we did.
What are other duties a vigil must perform?
I'm sure you are aware that nothing is free in this world. As a vigil, you swore an oath to prevent the Calamity and protect the people of Hadea. By performing good deeds for Hadeans, you can acquire some relics and items. You may have noticed that the creature, despite being slain, returns after a certain time. That's because you haven't shut down their time loop. You need to kill the Guardians first, and only then can you enter the time loop to shut it down. We must shut down all the time loops. I know, it seems like an impossible task given the brutality of the Civil War. Take this. It will help you detect the Guardians that are protecting each time loop.
Oh, awesome. We'll get the Guardian Detector, device that always seems to point to the nearest time loop Guardian. A crystalline lattice that is highly sensitive to proximate time loop frequencies. The crystal orients itself towards similar frequencies in the vicinity.
This was in Pentos's coffin. What do you make of it?
This is what you found. That isn't very reassuring. More riddles. The scroll must be the key to solving the enigma. I recognize the old Hadean language. It died out centuries ago. It would be best to find someone who can translate it.
Where do these necklaces come from?
The necklaces we carry today belong to the Foal Guards. We found them in old tombs and ruins. Crafting these necklaces is a lost art. Many have tried unlocking the secrets of forging one, but every attempt has failed. They are precious and rare, which is why each member of the Vigil passes the necklace to their next of kin.
What do you know about these weapons?
Consider what our smiths need to forge our weapons. It makes you think, doesn't it? Now that's a chicken and the egg mystery if I ever saw one. Think about it. You can't slay the creatures without our weapons. The material to forge them comes from the creature's corpse. How did they do it?
What are time loops? And how do I shut them down?
They ensnare moments in time, events charged with extreme violence, and curse those trapped inside to relive the moment over and over again. Now, how to shut it down? Once inside, you must bring an Ammon prism to the center of the time loop. The center is deadly to humans, so the Foal Guards trained owls to carry the Ammon prism. Ammon prisms are extremely rare. This is the only one I have left. Please take it. Perhaps your flying gadget can carry it to the center for you. Remember, when you close a time loop, come back and see me to claim your reward. There must be thousands. Roll up your sleeves. You have a lot of work ahead of you.
And the Ammon prism, a small prism that emits a constant hum. It is much heavier than it looks. Prism, composed of a basic crystalline lattice whose peculiar structure traps and delays limbic frequencies. This mechanism disrupts any looping resonance into irregular patterns, causing the collapse of Sigma's signature time loops. The collapsing time loops. Oh, this was written by Agatha. Okay. To collapse a time loop, one must first gain access to its interior. Based on our findings, this is only possible after eliminating all its guardians. Fortunately, the device we discovered in the Watcher's Nest, dubbed the Guardian Detector by Gilda's boundless imagination, can be used to locate them. Once inside a time loop, an Ammon prism must be placed at its very center. The ancient texts warn that this point is fatal to all biological life. Our ancestors in the Full Guard initially sent sacrificial volunteers, the proto-martyrs, into the time loops carrying the prisms. Later, they were replaced with specially trained owls. Additionally, time loops seem to form according to 3 patterns of increasing intensity. Each requires an ebbing prism of the corresponding pattern in order to destabilize and collapse the time loop. That summarizes everything we know about these anomalies. Vitalis would like to start planning when and how we'll shut them down. And as Gildus reminds us, we're fresh out of owls. Agatha.
How do I perform good deeds?
It's simple. Help our people. Hadeans are a proud bunch. They won't ask for your help directly, so pay attention to what they say. The more you help our fellow Hadeans, the more relics and items you can acquire. Now, you're asking yourself, how can this old kook know if I'm helping people? Oh, I can tell. It's in your eyes, boy. The eyes have much to say if one knows how to look. Whenever you accomplish a good deed, come back and talk to me to claim your reward.
Have I helped enough Hadeans?
Hadeans are lucky to have a vigil like you watching over them.
Okay, and some of our first rewards we get is a glyph, which is Waves of Grief. And that costs 30 limbic energy a second and does 50 damage a second at 10 meters range. Endless waves of grief spill out of your weapon, tormenting limbic entities with heavy sorrow. We also get the Call of the Griffin, an active relic, which has a 6-minute cooldown and gives us 100% stamina recovery speed for 180 seconds. Indefatigable grit. Find yourself replete with boundless vigor, greatly increasing stamina regeneration. The Pendant of Grief, which is a defensive gear that gives us 500 endurance bonus and 100 limbic energy. Strikes against you will replenish your limbic energy. And a Glyph of Shared Pain, which is another grief glyph. We do get some self-damage at 500 a second. You suffer waves of great sorrow, losing endurance in the process, but sharing the agony with nearby limbic entities and damaging them. We get a Terror defensive gear of limbic attunement. Remaining undamaged will reduce the cost of limbic skills. A Fury glyph of Rage. Hateful Force strikes a limbic entity and rages throughout its umbilical cord, searing all entities connected to it. That's pretty good. A Glyph of Ecstasy, Masochistic Delight. You revel in ecstatic pain as you willingly inflict damage upon yourself and share the blissful agony with all nearby limbic entities. Okay.
Hadeans need to rejoin the world. Come to think of it, we've never been a part of it. Hadeans have been isolated for far too long. I believe the only way to end the Calamity is to abandon Hadea. Leave and never return, Sabinian and Palamist alike. The Calamity is unique to Hadea. Why? What is it about Hadea that is so different from any other country? The answer is buried out there somewhere. We need to find it and stop it for good this time, or the cycle of destruction will continue. War is beyond tragedy, a senseless waste of human life and potential, and sadly, Hadea is no stranger to it. We haven't seen a conflict in over 1,000 years. In fact, we haven't seen a war this brutal before. Modern guns, mixed with hatred passed on from one generation to the next, are bound for terrible consequences. This is why the Vigil doubled its efforts when war loomed on the horizon, and also why the Vigil is being hunted. When desperate, we tend to make mistakes and expose ourselves. I'll never ascribe to the theory that the Vigil has a traitor within its ranks. I don't know much about the Peacekeepers. In a way, they are like the Vigil. They help the victims of war and ensure their care. Nothing wrong with that. However, unlike us, they operate in the open, which has certain disadvantages. It's like having a target painted on your back. I wish them the best of luck. Technically, I am Sabinian. I don't count myself as one, though. I am a Vigil, first and foremost. I was born and raised in the small village of Teden. It's in the north of Asteria. I went to school just like the other Sabinian kids, but during the small hours, I trained. I barely had friends growing up, but that didn't matter. The life of a Vigil is lonely and hard. I was always the outsider looking in. I observed my friends and neighbors all bickering about the Palamists. Let's just say I had other things on my mind than to hate an entire group of people. That always bothered me to my core. I wish I could have told them all to stop, to tell the truth, and to warn them of the real threat. I'm afraid they were too far gone, as if their hatred were a terminal sickness. I have no ill feelings toward the Palamists. They are dyed-in-the-wool Hadeans. Do you know the saying, "The way to a dog's heart is through his stomach"? Well, the way to a Palamist's heart is through his faith. Threaten that, and you will have a devoted enemy pitted against you. The propagandists played the religion card, fear-mongering the Palamists into believing that the Sabinians were going to take their faith away. And now look at us, divided and broken. It's deplorable. The time loops appeared at midnight on January 1st, and the creatures soon after. This isn't the first time this phenomenon has occurred in Hadea. You would think we would all be experts by now, but we're piecing together some lost history. Somehow this vital information has slipped through the cracks. We are uncertain if January 1st at midnight is genuinely part of the cycle. Is it consistent or random? We are plagued by many of these questions. With our lack of answers, we could do little to prevent the calamity. Only brace for it. Now that it is upon us, only one question remains. Who or what is creating the time loops?
Alright, lots of great information there with Gildas. And I think that's where we'll stop the episode. When we return, we'll return to Tanya and see exactly what she can decipher from this scroll. In any case, I appreciate you stopping by, and we'll see you next time.